So hello and welcome to Film Mixologist. So what I'm doing today is I am going to try and I got the Lister D kind of disassembled. So this is the hopper. I tried to clean it as best as I possibly could. Maybe it could use a touch more cleaning, but that's okay. But what I'm going to do today is I am trying to diagnose kind of what's the condition of the bore, because I took the piston out and the rings were kind of more or less okay. But what I need to do is I need some sort of indication as to where the piston is okay to reuse. Maybe might need some new rings or not, but also I need to understand the condition of the bore to make sure it's reusable as well. Because let's say in terms of, if you look at kind of the piston and the bore, you could have where in the kind of x-axis, so the piston goes like this, so it goes out of cylindrical, and you can also have it when the piston goes out of round. So those are kind of on the x and y axis. So the way I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you now in a second, is I'm going to use kind of some piston rings from the engine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure what is the play, the gap at various points in the bore. So therefore that would tell me if there is a bigger gap. It'll tell me that the piston is kind of, it's not, the walls are not like this, they are more shaped like a rugby ball. And then also if I see in the rings that there is like light coming around the rings, on the inside of the rings, it means that the cylinder bore is not a true it's not a true, it's not a perfect circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously put the rings, and I'm going to use the piston to make them travel down the bore. And the reason I'm going to use the piston is so that the ring sits true within the bore. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the floor, put the rings in, put the piston, take the first measurement, and then we'll take more measurements as we go. Obviously I've got a light underneath so that I can see kind of the bore and the ring. So I'll show you in a minute what the process is. Okay, so here is the first measurement. So I'll put the rings in there, and I put the piston roughly up to the kind of the first ring, the compression ring, and the measurement is well, about 1.01 millimeter. There you go, there you can see it. That's the measurement. So it's what, let me have a look, let me calculate this. You probably can't see the letters. There you go, now you can see the letters on the feeler gauge. So that's the initial measurement, and it's what, it's 45, 6, 7, 8, 48 thou. Well, that's quite a lot. Okay, so let's carry on down the bore and I'll show you at the next stage. Okay, so now put the ring up to the more or less the second compression ring, and here's the measurements I've got. So it's kind of a thousandth of an inch wider, the gap at this stage. The good thing though is, if I show you like this, is that I can't see at least looking at it from the top. I can't see any light coming through there. So the good news is that the cylinder is not out of round, but clearly, I mean, the gaps here are quite large, so at the very least it's going to need a new set of rings. So this is at the kind of oil control ring level. It's still quite good, but now we are like 1/1000th of an inch less. So there is a bit of wear in the piston, but I would say from top to bottom is 2/1000th of an inch. Okay, so this now I put it right down to the end of the bore, and you can see the measurement there is 0.8. Let's see if I can get the numbers to come up. Yeah, and then the mils is 0.8 mil. There you go. See if it comes up there. Oh, I'm having a hard time getting the number. So it's 0.880 mil and 0.32 in inches. So there is some wear in this cylinder. I need to just take these measurements again and then kind of make some calculations and inquiries about it. So I'm still going down the bore, and now we are on to, there we go, 0.55 mil. That's the gap. So obviously as you start going down the bore, I mean, the gap gets tighter and tighter. That means that there's a lot of wear in the rest of the bore. Okay, so as you can see there, those rings are right at the bottom of the piston's travel, and in here we have got let's see if I can bring it around here, 0.5 mil of clearance. So if you can have a look. I'll raise the piston rings so you can see it right to the top. As you can see there, the gap between the piston ring between the rings is quite tight. Whilst let me just bring it up, and as you can see now, the gap is just so much bigger. And look, this is the 0.5 mil at the bottom, and look, it's like completely